News we do care about today. This one I thought was awesome, and I think most men would agree. Man and dog spent 7 years walking around the world, just finished their trip. So they literally, it was a man and his dog. He planned this whole thing. He left in like 2015 sometime, and he just finished up his trip all the way around the world. I didn't look up the exact trip. I plan to do this later because I thought it was a fascinating article.
Sure.
But just the idea of like you and your dog just out there traveling, adventuring. How cool is that, right?
I hope this guy's got like an eye patch or like a rugged man beard if he's out walking the world for 7 years with his dog, man and his best friend. I feel like he's like, I don't know, drinking his own urine or something, like super, like killing snakes with his bare hands and eating them and then sharing half with his dog. Like, that's what I imagine. This fierce mountain man living off the world as he walks his dog. That's what comes immediately to mind.
I like the image. I don't think that's what he looked like.
Damn it.
I just briefly saw the picture, and he didn't strike me as a type, but that may have been the picture when he left, or maybe he was like halfway through. I didn't really see a picture when he came back, what he looked like, or how it changed his life. But intriguing. Would you read this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, above and beyond that, his cardio game must be outrageous if he walked for 7 years. Good for him. Holy cow.
He needs to make a song now. You know, those guys would walk 500 miles.
Proclaimers.
Yeah, exactly. He just upped the ante.
I would walk for 7 years. 7 years.
Drops the mic. Done. I think we're done here.
Song over. Get out, you crazy Australians.
They're Scottish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you know they're going to come out with their follow-up. Isn't that what rappers do? Like you rap about, you diss someone in a diss track, and then do they say diss? Is that a thing? Maybe I'm aging myself.
Your age is showing, buddy.
Yeah.
90s diss tracks.
I'm still gonna rock it. You do a diss track, and then they like clap back. Clap back, is that a thing?
But I feel like that's a newer term.
Clap back. Now mixing. Best of both worlds. Young and old. It's like that touch of gray. It's like youth and experience at the same. That's what I'm doing right now. Touch of gray with slang.
So
touch of slang.
Iban-ish?
Iban-ish.
T-shirt.
Anyway, I thought that article was awesome. Number 2, EPA ruling. This one might get you riled up. So before you start, let me just say that coal is awesome and burning fossil fuels is the way to go. Okay, go. No, just kidding. Not my beliefs. Just go on.
This made me mad because I'm a scientist, which my wife hates when I say because I got my bachelor's degree in environmental science, which means I'm a professional hippie. I drive a Prius and everything. It's fantastic.
I know you'll smell weed when you walked in here.
Hey, man. Just be cool. Be cool. You cool? We're cool.
Hey. Love, man. Could you ever be a hippie? Like, did you try that? Like, you graduated school and you're like, here we go. Put the bandana on.
Yeah, dreadlocks.
On your VW.
VWs they're good cars, I guess, but they're cheaply made and they're not environmentally friendly. I mean, I guess the newer ones, I haven't looked at the EPA standards, but the EPA is now losing its...
Actually, Volkswagen had that big scandal back in the day where they were falsely... Well, I think they actually changed the computers to put a false representation of their emissions. So,
yeah.
I mean, really, they kind of fooled the hippies to begin with. Like, that's their flag, basically, is that VW bus, and it's like one of the worst polluters. Kind of ironic.
It's all right. It runs on coal. You're like in there shoveling. Get in the back.
It comes with someone just to...
It's like this old school steam trains with just smoke belching out of the top. Perfect.
Sounds like something in... I'm not going to say it. I was going to say it, but I was like, I'm not going to get too political.
That's fair.
So your thoughts real fast?
It makes me grumpy. I'm happy that because California still has like CAFE standards, so they hold the like environmental emissions to a much higher standard in this state, which, automakers and all kinds of things like that are angry about it. So that there's a whole separate thing that they're called CAFE standards if they're still a thing. And see, now my knowledge might be dated because then I became a nurse. So, but I mean, taking the teeth out of the EPA and limiting the amount of regulations they can do is absurd to me, and that's a step backwards. And coal is, while it does provide jobs, we should be working towards greener energies. And honestly, burning rocks and making really bad smoke is not a good plan as far as heat and electricity. we should try not to burn rocks.
That's good advice for drugs, and it's good advice for the environment.
I didn't say anything.
Don't burn rocks, guys.
Crack is cool, kids.
No, it's not, kids. It's not cool.
Don't listen to him.
Don't do it.
Don't listen to Chris. T-shirt idea.
Don't listen to Chris. Although, does Chris Rock have? Did he coin that? If he didn't, we're jumping on that one.
Well, I think Everybody Hates Chris, which I never watched that show because it already hurts my feelings right off the gate.
That's true. Why do you want to belittle yourself even more? The EPA, I really haven't looked into it too much, so I don't have too much to say on that. I mean, and I don't want to get too political, but I think it is something worth looking into. I think everyone should be educated on this because when you have these big rulings that affect the country, I think it's important to be well-versed on them, especially if you want to have an opinion. I think you have to have a defense and you have to know what you're talking about. That's my big thing. So if you're going to have an EPA ruling, if you want to be bitter or if you want to be glad and happy about it, either way, I think just have a good defense. I'm tired of people just reading one little article on the internet and then claiming that they know it all or being like vehemently opposed or for something just based off of that.
Yeah. Well, in reading about this, I read both sides of the argument, which was...
So you read two articles.
Yeah.
So professional.
I don't want to pull the scientist card, but I definitely am going to. I should get a card made. A
You
T-shirt.
Chris is a scientist. Or just, I'm a scientist.
Trust me, I'm a scientist.
There we go.
But yeah, it was almost comical. There's just the two sides screaming about the pros and cons of both sides. But I mean, I guess, but just based off of my environmental experience, that's weird to say because I never had a job in the field, but it still made me sad. The EPA.
Got it.
Hurts my feelings.
Read the article. Check it out. Lastly, inflation strikes July 4th cookouts. Now, we had the article we don't care about with being third in travel volume, but this is the article we do care about. Inflation strikes July 4th cookouts. The cost of meat and fireworks is up over 25%. You can't tell me that men aren't caring about this.
Oh my God. Why don't you just stab America in the heart? Meat and fireworks are too?
I was like, not in my country. This needs to be fixed.
Who is working on this and why aren't they working faster?
You know how many articles I had to read or like scroll down through before I found this beauty? Like this should have been top 5. I had to read through that Canadian woman grabbing that cat before I got to this one. That's crap.
I'm writing an angry letter to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. We're calling them all out. Why is this not number one?
I need my fireworks, man.
I need explosives and I need meat.
That's how primitive we are. It's like, man need firework and meat.
Yeah.
Then okay.
I love your caveman impression, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Was it? I haven't done a caveman in a while.
It's going to be gruffer. Men need firework. Make fire in sky. Need meat for food.
I'm not convinced that's an impression. I think that may be your actual speaking voice.
I dress it up. I'm just a caveman.
That's solid.
My dad did a DNA test, and he found out there was some really high percentage Neanderthal.
You are tall, so that would make sense.
Yeah, but Neanderthals were shorter. Neanderthal. What's the pronunciation? Is it with a T or a TH?
Hell if I know.
A T or a thee?
A thee. It's definitely with the thee.
Well, I mean, it's a TH, but I don't know.
Neanderthal?
I'm not smart enough to know because I'm a Neanderthal.
It's probably, if you're pretentious, you pronounce it Neanderthal. And if you're just a regular person, you pronounce it Neanderthal.
I'm part of the Neanderthal sect of... Yeah, no, it was too much. Yeah, I was like 40%.
Really?
Yeah. As you can tell by my pronounced forehead and, elongated arms.
I see it now. Now, the way you drag your knuckles when you walk.
Barrel chested.
Totally makes sense.
I usually communicate through grunts and hand motions. So.
Chris want eat. Chris want eat. Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
It's getting there. You're not Neanderthal enough.
It was almost like a Mad Yoda is what that sounded like.
Yeah. We need fire.
All right.
I'm waiting for George Lucas to call me for the voice job. It's coming.
Hey, Chris, baby, I heard your impression. Your Yoda is impeccable. We're going to use you for the next Star Wars that we're about to poop on.
Do or do not. There is no try.
That's what he should have listened to Yoda before he made the next 3 Star Wars. He already had a bad showing with the new ones back in the early 2000s. Sure. And he decided to do it again. Just bringing it up makes me so mad. And I think all dads out there feel this way. Why do you have to do it to me again? Like, Star Wars was awesome. You come out with those weak 1 through 3 ones. They're terrible. I had such high hopes for these ones. Like, he's going to right the wrong. You know, this festering wound I've had for about 15 years is finally going to be fixed. Nope.
We're gonna double down. Double down on the poor storyline.
It was so bad. The only one that was good was the one that he copied from the original Star Wars. The only good thing he could come up with was what he already did.
Let's just do it again, and then we'll get into the next ones later.
It sounds like the reports I used to do in high school where like, oh, you know what? I already wrote a report on this last year, so I'm just going to grab that same one and recycle it.
Yeah, change the dates a little bit, mix around a couple of sentences. They'll never know.
Come on.
I mean, they almost made fun. You're talking about The Force Awakens?
Yes, yeah. The Force Awakens. It was a good start to it. I thought that what they were going to do is they were going to have this base that we could relate to, kind of like a reset, and then plunge into awesomeness from there. Instead, they had this reset and then plunged into the depths of poop again.
Well, they almost made a joke in it. Like Han Solo makes a joke in it where he's like, well, they got the big bad guy base that blows up multiple planets now. It's like, well, we can blow it up, right? We can always do that. Because that's what they do. Like, hey, the Empire, and from a fiscal standpoint, how is the Empire still working? They're like, let's build this trillion, quadrillion dollar base. These guys, a bunch of teenagers come and blow it up. And then they're like, listen, build another one. And then they blow it up again and they're like, build a bigger one. And it's like, how are you still financial? Like, you just keep getting blown up. Like,
well, obviously we figured out who runs this empire. It's DJ Khaled. Another one. Another one. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
And also, of course, they're American. We do the same things, right? We wasted all this money. We have no money left. Well, just keep printing money. What are they doing now? We had all this stimulus. Now we have all this inflation. What should we do? How about we give people more stimulus?
I got it. Who's the economist in charge here? Get him out.
I mean, I'm all for helping people, but seriously, do we not know how inflation works? I digress. This will just get me on a rant. That'll be for another day. But I always wanted that question too. Like, it was way too easy for them just to be like the same thing, just bigger and stronger.
Put more guns on it. Double the guns.
Sir, but what about the weakness where they blew it up last time?
Doesn't matter.
Leave it. That was fine.
There's a fluke. They're not going to do it again.
There's no way they would suspect that. Okay, we're getting into dad tips now. Your dad tip for the week.
Get a minivan. But this comes because I have so many children. Way too many children. But everybody likes to rag on minivans, talk about how unmanly they are and all this nonsense. Until you sit in a minivan. The minivans, the nowadays minivans are fantastic. It's like sitting in a cockpit of a Star Wars fighter pilot. I got buttons. I control every door, window, light. Every vent is at my fingertips. I can turn them off. I can be mean. I'm like, no, you don't control your window. No, you don't control your thing. I can turn them on if I'm feeling happy. Whatever. I can open the hatch. I can open the side doors. I can open everything. I feel like the Emperor in the swivel chair. If it could just swivel around and I could... Yes, young Skywalker. If I could do that, then it would be complete. Your training is complete. But
that is too good. Do you do voices back in before you were a nurse? Were you just doing voices on the corner?
I should have.
Come on, $1 per voice.
What do you got? I'll do it. No, I'm waiting for George Lucas to call. He should be. It's coming any day now.
He was about to call, and I pooed all over Star Wars, and he's like, "No, I don't think so."
He was going to do the Chris, baby. Yeah. You're killing me, Peter. You're literally.
I'm bringing you down. Hey, if I'm not getting into Hollywood, you're not going either.
Clipping my wings. It's fine.
I like the minivan, actually. I've always supported minivans. It's my wife that doesn't, which is weird. She's always wanted like a Suburban or something. But she also, she's probably one of those that supports striking down the EPA. I'm just kidding. I don't think that's true.
She's going to come in here and kick
please
your
don't.
ass.
Yeah, please
I
don't
love
hurt
you,
me.
sweetheart. I love you.
But yeah, minivans I thought were awesome. I think my only qualm about minivans, which this is back in the day, was that, low clearance and
sure,
not a lot of power. What do I need that for?
You don't.
So I'm team minivan. I'm all
My
for
argument that I used against for when my wife wanted an SUV or some sort of tank so that we could drive over other drivers or whatever it is, because that's what we do in America. Bigger car, let me kill the other driver.
You're going too slow. That's it. Go over them.
4-wheel drive. No, my argument for her, and she finally consented, I said, minivans are designed to haul people, and we need to haul a lot of people. SUVs are designed to haul stuff, like a truck. Like, that's designed for hauling stuff. We're not hauling stuff. We're hauling people. And minivans have larger, like, passenger cabins and everything, so you can just pile children back there. You don't know if they're buckled up. You just throw them in there. It's, doors open. They come spilling out like a clown car, overstuffed closet, just pouring children into the street.
And you don't even have to stop. You can literally open the door, and then once they're all piled out, you can close the door without ever having to take off your seatbelt. It's like you said, it's made for parents and families.
It makes me think of, I think it was the second Jurassic Park movie, not the new ones, the original ones.
I was going to say, please, no, I don't want to poop on another series.
Where they're driving and maybe it was the third one, where they're hunting
Lost World. Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's got the thing and the door opens and his seat slides out and he pulls the gun. I was like, if I could just get the kids' seats to slide
out and just drop it.
and then dump them out at school, like, bye. So just slow down to 5 or 10 miles an hour. They can hit the ground rolling. They'll be fine. Plus, we can hunt velociraptors later.
It's a multifaceted vehicle. That's my one thing with the minivan. I think it's great. I think they just need to rename it. If they named it something else, I think it would be a lot more marketable. I think men are turned off by minivan. But what if it was called like the accelerator or something like that?
The manly van.
Even the manly van is like a bit too obvious.
Sure, it's too on the nose.
Shredder. Like, you can't tell me, what do you drive? Toyota?
The Road
Ford?
Destroyer.
The Road Destroyer 2000. Yeah. You can't tell me men aren't going to want to drive that. So we've solved minivans. My pro dad tip is the quick release. And the quick release, I don't know if I talked about this before, but it is kind of similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, you want to do everything fast. Everything.
Where do you think my third child is?
You just want to do everything quick. So, and it annoys me when you get these waitresses that'll come to your table and they'll like drop off the appetizers, then they'll drop off the food, they'll ask you if you want anything. Back when I was, it's just me and my wife, when I was single, great. We're having a good time. We're hanging out. Like, kids are crawling on me. Kids are crying. She can see this happening and she's like, can I get you anything else? Is the food tasting okay?
We'll see you in 10 minutes. Give you some time.
So I tell them, as soon as I go to a restaurant, same thing every time. We know what drinks we want. We know what food we want. I say, bring out the check. I say, bring out the boxes. Bring that all out at the same time. I don't want to see you twice. If I see you twice, no tip. And this is not to be mean. This is out of necessity. This is survival of the fittest here. One of us is coming out of this restaurant intact, either me or my kid. It won't be both. And when the times it works, it's awesome. It's like boom, boom, in, out, 30 minutes. Everyone's had a great time. The times it doesn't, whew.
I don't know if I like what parenting's done to you.
It's changed me,
You're turning like Mad Max over here. Like, we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to get through. Like, you're missing limbs and stuff that are like haphazardly like cyborg arms slapped on just because you could, and it's made out of like trash. Like, we just have to get through.
We pretty much dress the same when we go to restaurants.
Yeah, just
it makes sense.
Whatever clothing, there's like holes missing in it.
Food, water.
We need sustenance to get through this day.
That's basically what it's done to me. And you do what you need to do to survive when the kids are this young. Maybe when the kids are older like yours, we can enjoy life a little more.
You start hitting them more, I think.
I told you, I don't hit.
Oh.
I just, the stern look, and I do this. Hey, I don't want to say it again. I get real close.
Sure.
Real close to them. I say, I told you to put your toys away. I'm not going to tell you again. I will put you in timeout.
Mm. Do you do the...
through clenched teeth.
Do you do the upper arm grab because you got to pull them up to your mouth?
Mm-mm.
Oh, come on.
I hold him. I calm him down. I say, hey. I'm not going to tell you again. And then I give him this, like one eye is twitching, And then I compose myself. And I go sit down. And if he does it again, we just go to timeout after that. I don't hit. I don't yell. It's all about, I think if you just change the environment, they're like, oh, dad is whispering. It's spooky. Like things are getting real over here.
Listen here.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this one time.
It's like a Jack Nicholson thing. Here's Daddy.
Here's Johnny. Yeah. Oh my God.
Try it. Let me know if it works. That is all we have for Dad News Daily Weekly. Hopefully you learned something today, and we'll see you next week.